Assalamu alaikum, lovelies. Welcome again to my channel. I'm Baliki Zabiela of Al-Hilaal Fashion, and in today's video I'll be teaching you how to cut and sew this trending open abaya. We are not just going to learn how to sew it only, but we are going to learn how to give it a top-notch finishing just like this. So if this is something you are interested in, then stay back and watch till the end. Now let's get started. To cut this type of abaya, you'll be needing roughly 4 yards of fabric. But to determine how many yards of fabric we'll be using depending on individuals, all you need to do is to add the shoulder measurement, the half shoulder measurement, which is from the back of the neck to where the shoulder stops. The half shoulder measurement plus the sleeve length. Anything you get, you multiply it by 4, then you add around 5 to 6 inches, just if probably there is any shortfall in the fabric. So you add your shoulder measurement plus sleeve length, then you multiply it by 4 and add some extra allowances. Any amount you get after calculating this, you divide it by 36 inches because a yard is 36 inches. So when you divide it by 36 inches, anything you get from that will be the exact amount of fabric you'll be needing to cut this abaya. Once you've done the calculation and gotten your fabric ready, you fold it into 4 and lay it down this way. So you align everything and make sure everything is perfectly laid either on your table or on the floor as I'm doing. Once everything is aligned properly this way, I'll start cutting. We want to make sure that the part we choose to be the front center and the back center of our cloth is that part that has an open end and a closed end, just like this. Eventually, the selvage of this cloth is on the upper part and the down part of the fabric because I'm not cutting the abaya on a straight grain. So the first thing I'll do is to cut out the selvage, which is the woven end of the fabric, before I start imputing my measurement. After that, I'll measure 3 inches, 3 inches for my neck wideness. After that, I will go to the edge of the fabric on the other side, which is the sleeve side of my abaya, and measure 2 inches downward, 2 inches. Then I'll connect these 2 points with my ruler. After that, I will measure 10 inches from that point. Then I'll chalk it. Then right under the sleeve, I will measure 20 inches from the center front and center back. So this 20 inches will be the wideness for this part of the abaya. Then I will go to the down part of the abaya and measure 18 inches for the wideness of the down part. So I'll measure 18 inches for the wideness of the down part and I'll connect all these points together. For the neck depth of the front part of the abaya, I initially used 7 inches here. I used 7 inches, but later I realized the 7 inches is too small, and I changed it, which I'll be showing you later in this video. For the back part of the abaya, we will leave it straight and do nothing to it. So now I'll cut out my abaya. After cutting, this is what I have. I also went ahead to measure the exact length I needed for the abaya and cut the down part. Remember that I said earlier that the 7 inches I used for the depth of the front part of the abaya is too small. So I decided to blend it well to avoid this pointy edge with the front of the abaya. So I just used my grading ruler to blend it well with the front part. Then I cut it out. Now we are done with the cutting of the abaya, so let's move to the sewing part of it. To start sewing our abaya, the first thing I'll do is to go to my machine and neatly hem the center front of the abaya. So from this point downward, I will go to my machine and neatly hem it. Because I did not want to fold the edge of the fabric twice before hemming, I decided to overlock the edge first. So by doing this, I will just fold the fabric once and neatly hem it on my machine. After hemming, this is what I have. So now I will go ahead and change my upper needle to a white thread and fix my trimming, my silver trimming. So this trimming is roughly 3/4 of an inch wide, and I will carefully attach the trimming to the part that I just hemmed now, which is the front part of the abaya. It is important that when we are attaching the trimming to the front part of the abaya, we push the trimming, not to pull it. So when we pull the trimming as we attach it, it might cause bulginess on this part of the abaya after we are done fixing the trimming. So you can see the way I'm gradually pushing the trimming to the presser foot. After attaching the trimming, we'll cut out the excess trimming, then we'll stitch again on the other end of the trimming, because you know the trim is a little bit wide. So carefully stitch the other end of the trimming. After that, we'll have something like this, as you can see. So the next thing we'll be doing now is to join the abaya on the shoulder. So we'll place the front and the back part of the abaya on each other and join the shoulder. We want to make sure that when joining the shoulders, we start from the sleeve part down to the neck, not from the neck part. We start from the sleeve part down to the neckline. So we'll do this to the left side of the fabric, and also on the right side, we'll do the same thing. So after sewing, you can see this is what I have. So the next thing now is to work on the sleeve part of the abaya. So to do that, I'll first go and hem this edge here, and this is what I have after hemming it. So I'll hem it on both the left side and the right side of the abaya. Then I'll spread it down afterwards and measure 6 inches. I'll measure 6 inches upward from the edge of the fabric and connect the point with my ruler. Then I'll draw another line around ½ inch on the down part of the first line that I drew. So on these two lines, I will be making a basting stitch on them. A basting stitch is a kind of stitch that you use the longest length on your machine to make, and you don't back stitch. So this purpose is for you to be able to gather that fabric using the thread that you use to sew the fabric on that point. After that, I'll pick a thread from each line and pull it to make a gathers on each of the two lines. Once I'm done with that, I'll measure what I have on that spot to make sure that what I have is wide enough to accommodate the elbow, because we want to make sure that the abaya is ablution friendly. That when you pull up the abaya to your elbow to make ablution, it is not too tight. So I'll be using 15 inches, but you can decide to use between 12 to 15 inches depending on what is the elbow circumference of you are making the abaya for. So when I'm sure that wideness we have on that spot is enough, I will sew my trimming on that spot. I'll make sure I change my thread back to white thread, because I wouldn't want blue to be showing on the trimming. So I'll change it back to white thread and sew the trimming on that two basting stitch that I made earlier. So this is what I have after sewing it. So the next thing for me to do is to secure the trimming on the other end of it. Once I'm done with that, this is what I will have. So what I'll do now is to bring the sleeves together this way and join the sides of my abaya. After joining the sides, the next thing is to finish up the back neckline of the abaya. So to do that, I'll bring the neckline together this way and chalk the midpoint. After that, I already went ahead to prepare a strap that is 2 inches wide and around 10 to 11 inches long. So this strap, I on the midpoint of the strap, I attached my brand tag on it. So the midpoint of this tag, I'll place it. I don't know if you can see the crease. I already ironed the crease, the middle point of the strap. So I'll place the midpoint of the strap on the midpoint of my back neckline this way. Then I'll go ahead to my machine and sew it down from the left part to the right part. And also when I'm sewing down, I'll make sure that the edge, I turn it inward this way when I want to sew. You can see the way I turned it inward. Then I'll start sewing from that point till I get to the other point. And when I get to the other edge of the strap also, I will turn it inward this way. After attaching the strap to the neckline, this is what I have. So the next thing I'll do now is to flip it over to the negative side. You can see, so I flip it over this way. Then I'll go down to my machine and sew it down. So I'll first use my pen to hold down in place this way. Then I will go to my machine and sew it down from the left to the right. After sewing, this is what I have. You can see how neat the finishing is. So the next thing I'll do now is just to cut off all hanging threads and hem the down parts of my abaya. Then I'll give my abaya a good press and show you what the result is. So after hemming the down part of the abaya and giving it a good press, this is what I have. You can see it's looking beautiful. If you have watched this video to this stage and you find it beneficial, kindly give me a thumbs up by liking this video and comment in the comment section if you have any question regarding this tutorial, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of my videos. See you in my next video, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.